What's up, you guys? Welcome to the Jimbo Slice Workshop. We got something a little different in store for you today. It's not a traditional head-to-head tool fight like we've done in the past with a couple things, but we got a comparison video for you guys. What I'm going to do today, there's a lot of different options for metal cutting blades on the market. So traditionally, we've always used bonded cutting wheels. This is a P-ford disc for about $3 at Menards. So we're going to run this through the ringer. But we also have some different options, and I'll start at the bottom and I'll work my way up. So continuing with my Menards strip, we have the Master Force metal cutting blade. Claims 65% longer life than your bonded cutting wheel. Now the thing about this one, it does have a diamond rim on it. Rated, these are all 4.5-inch discs. It is rated at a little over 13,000 RPMs, okay? And it is a segmented diamond coated blade. Now we also have a rigid blade. Now the interesting thing about the rigid blade, this too is available for $12, but this is at Home Depot, and they're strikingly similar to the Menards blade, the Master Force blade. Again, it's a 4.5-inch disc, rated for a little over 13,000 RPMs. And it is a segmented diamond coated blade. This claims, I think it was 70%. 70% longer life than your bonded wheel. So, moving up a little bit more in price, Diablo has their new metal cutting blades out. Now, theirs, unlike the rigid and Master Force, are offered in a wide variety of size. This is the 4.5-inch for $15, Home Depot. You can get a 5-inch for $20, and they also have, I think, a 6 and a 7-inch blade. Now, the 4.5 and 5-inch are a continuous rim, diamond coated edge, where the 6 and 7, they're actually a segmented blade, similar to these here. This one claims 100% longer cutting life than your traditional bonded blade. So we also have the Milwaukee Steelhead. This is also a segmented blade. Looks very similar to the rigid and the Master Force blade. This one claims 75% longer life. This is available in 4.5-inch and I think a 6-inch wheel. Now initially these were a lot more expensive when they first came out. I think pushing about $50. I found this one at Farm and Fleet for about $20. I've heard reports for about $15. And then top edge, this one's been around a long time. This is Lennox. This is their cutting blade, the Metal Max. They don't claim a percentage, but it says it'll give you 1,000 plus cuts. 30% longer wheel life. This is a segmented blade too, 4.5-inch. They do offer a couple different sizes of these. This one's a little more expensive. If you go to Lowe's, it'll run you about $25-30. I got this on Amazon for $15. So what I have here, I have a couple angle grinders here. Now you're going to notice two brands of Porter Cable and DeWalt. The innards are the same. They're both a 7 amp hour, I'm always doing cordless tools. It's a 7 amp motor running at 12,000 RPM. So though they're different colors, it's the same guts, same grinder, so you're going to achieve the same results with that. So we're going to run these all through the ringer. Like I said, it's not a head-to-head comparison. I just want to see, for the value of what you're paying for these discs, which one is going to work out the best for you. Can you get away buying a $12 disc, or do you need to go to the $20, $25 disc for life? So we're going to cut some 1-inch by 1/8-inch thick angle iron. We're going to do 40 to 50 cuts in that. I also have some 3/4-inch square tubing. We're going to do some cuts in that, and then I do have a 1/4-inch by 1-inch bar we're going to finish our cuts off with. And we're going to see what lasts and what keeps going. We'll see how long the bonded wheel will last us. We're going to throw some sparks around. We're going to have a lot of fun today. So sit back, pop open your beer, grab some popcorn, and watch the sparks fly. So we burned through a decent amount of the disc already. It was after 15 cuts. So we're going to throw this one out already. Alright, you guys, so the verdict's in. Aside from the bonded wheel, which we knew was going to just start to disintegrate pretty much immediately, it started tearing apart. So I didn't continue on with the bonded wheel because we all know how those goes. So overall, the rigid and the Master Force performed really the same due to the fact that they are almost the same blade. They are exactly the same blade, aside from some relief holes in the rigid itself, in the rigid blade. So those are pretty much similar. In terms of the ranking, I would rank these lower, the $12 blades. They still perform nice, but they didn't quite have the cutting speed and the smoothness of some of the higher end blades. Moving in, we also had the Milwaukee Steelhead, which again is very similar. If we line it up, it lines up with the other two, but it just seemed to cut a lot quicker than the rigid and the Master Force blades. So for about $8 more, you get a little more aggressive cut. It does have a little more diamond coating on it, and the coating seems to last a little bit longer on it. Now, one thing is, this throws, for whatever reason it is, this throws some hot metal shards at you. So I did notice that of all the blades that I was testing, I got bit the most by this one here. But overall, out of the 3 segmented blades like this style, the Milwaukee is my favorite. It's a very smooth blade. So moving on, I also really enjoyed the Lennox blade. I think it's a good balance between a segmented and a continuous rim. It seemed to be the smoothest blade that I use, and it also seemed to cut one of the quicker, pretty much neck and neck with the Milwaukee. The coating did last very well. I still have a lot of life, and really all these blades, they perform phenomenally. And then finally we have the Diablo Blade. Now, despite the fact this is kind of a middle of the road, I wasn't too fond of this blade. I think it kind of cut a little bit slow in a couple areas. And initially, there was kind of an issue I had with this blade when I was cutting the first 50 cuts with the angle iron. There seemed to be a real bad kind of wobble on the blade. I played around with a couple different grinders, and I still had the same issue. But as I continued to use the blade, it wore out, and it got a much smoother cut. But in terms of speed, it is one of the slower cutting discs on here. So for 15 bucks, it's not a bad option to have. It's still safer, and it's still going to last you a lot longer than a bonded wheel. So overall, if I'm going to recommend a blade to you, I'm going to recommend either the Milwaukee Steelhead or the Lennox Metal Max. Those are two awesome blades. You can get the Milwaukee a little bit cheaper than the Lennox. Unless you go on Amazon, like I said, instead of the 25 or 30 at Lowe's for the Lennox, you can go to Amazon and get this one for only 15 bucks. This I've heard about 15, 20 bucks. So they're all pretty much in the same general category. Any route you go, you're going to have good results. Another great option, like I said, is either the Ridge or the Master Force blade. They both perform very well, just not quite as good as the Lennox or the Milwaukee. Again, the Diablo, it was a decent blade, but it didn't seem to have the aggressiveness that the segmented blades did. So that's all I got for you guys. I hope you learned something from this today. I know I did as well, and how these blades perform. Personally, what am I going to continue to buy? Really, probably one of these two. This is where I'm going to sit for my metal cutting needs. So that's all I got for you guys. Thanks for watching. Follow me on Instagram at Jimbo Slice Workshop, and also go to my website, jimbosliceworkshop.com. I want to thank Mechanical Hub on Instagram. I was thinking about doing this, and then he started doing his blade comparison, so I said, all right, I'm going to get on the game and get off my tushy and get my thoughts in on this as well. So give him a follow. He's got some cool results for you as well from his notice. You know, everybody kind of does things a little bit differently, so he should have a video up shortly as well on similar. I think did all of them except for the Master Force blade. So that's all I got for you guys. Thanks for watching.